everything that Israel is blowing up, we have to pay for. We're paying for it with our tax dollars already, with the weapons that are being used, because those are our weapons, right? Those are our munitions. And then on top of that, they're going to demand us pay compensation. They're going to demand that we pay reparations for the shit that we blew up. This is a fraction of what's going on right now, by the way. Watch. Let's take a look at what Scott Bessent had to say. Mr. Treasury. Let's see what he had to say about releasing some of the sanctions piece by piece on Iran.
Effort. We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there, and there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels, so depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next.
Oh, glorious. Fucking glorious. We're going to release the Iranian sanctions so that we actually hurt the Iranians is a fantastic gambit. Masterful gambit, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey, you know what also helps Iran? The fact that their oil tankers are the only ones that can cross through the Strait of Hormuz right now, as the price of the oil barrel is also skyrocketed. You know who this helps? Russia. You know who this helps? Iran. Ironically enough. Now that the Strait of Hormuz is closed effectively and the price of fucking crude has gone up, every single barrel that Iran is capable of selling to the rest of the world is even more expensive. And therefore, they're making even more money. 5D chess here, okay? It's awesome. For the record, we should have never been fucking sanctioning the shit out of Iran to begin with and like starving its economy. This fucking dipshit literally celebrated that, openly said that the reason why there is discontent in Iran right now, the reason why there are mass protests in Iran right now is because we effectively starved out their economy. We destroyed their regular, ordinary people's normal existence in the country. He said it. He said it. Remember. And now, forcibly, Iran is recovering those lost assets, the economic damage, piece by piece.
10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign.
Iran sets up approved shipping corridor through Hormuz. Iran is allowing select vessels to pass through the Strait of Hormuz along the routes inside its territorial waters after their prior approval, with at least one tanker reportedly paying $2 million for transit, according to Lloyd's list. At least 9 ships have already used the route near Larak Island, where the IRGC-linked authorities verify vessels. Governments including India, China, Pakistan, Iraq, and Malaysia are coordinating transit requests directly with Tehran. Lloyd's list reports Iran is moving to formalize the system. Ship owners must submit detailed ownership and cargo information in advance, often via intermediaries, to register for clearance, with vessels tied to the U.S. or Israel excluded. Traffic remains minimal, with just 15 transits recorded from March 15th to 17th, about 90% tied to Iran-linked trade or ownership. So now they're collecting a toll for pass-through, for safe clearance through the Strait of Hormuz. Not only have they effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz, as we've talked about already, they are now rerouting vessels through one of their islands to collect a fucking toll. Incredible. Yeah. RIP Australia, I guess. My dumbass government is helping the USA so we won't get to make a deal for safe passage around. Fucking idiots. You'll see. I think that things will change. This is also part of the reason why Iran is directly communicating, from what I understand, with the French and the German and the British governments. I mean, maybe not the British one, actually, but they're definitely talking to the French government and the German government. Iran, by force, is getting the European vassals to decouple from America. Iran is utilizing capitalism to its advantage. The weakness of capital is that endless profits may flow. And if your goal is to keep this entire system together, a fragile system, as Iran has shown, okay, and you have to abide by your capital masters, your capital owning masters, you have to sometimes cut a deal with Iran. You have to forcibly decouple from the United States of America. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Truly. It's a brilliant move. None of these guys were going to do it, even if America turned around and said, we're going to fucking take Greenland. It's clear. European capital owners straight up showed their asses in that last bout when they were like, wait, what do you mean, Mr. President? Why would you take over Greenland forcibly? Why would you forcibly annex Greenland? It's your territory already. Like, why would you do that? Why would you embarrass us openly? Right? And they were able to cause America to stand down, right? For a brief moment. But the damage was already done. But it wasn't enough. Mertz and all the fucking Eurocucks like Rutte still went back to the United States of America, still kept calling America daddy over and over again. And then America went in with Israel and did this thing and collapsed the energy markets. And now Iran has effectively shut off the Strait of Hormuz and is by force, one, showing what kind of damage it can do to American assets in the region, delivering blow after blow to the confidence that America had, or the confidence that allies had in American security assurances, and also, last but not least, collecting a fucking toll in the process and forcibly decoupling European vassal states from America, because European vassals also have their own capital masters. And when the order of global capital is disrupted this way, nation states remember that they have their own national interests. Yeah, the toll here, they openly stated it yesterday. They're planning to levy a 10% toll on all ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. This will generate $73 billion a year, completely offsetting U.S. sanctions and paying for war damages.
Talking about leveling a tax, a toll on ships. You know, in normal times, about $2 billion worth of goods pass through the Strait of Hormuz every day. So if you have a 10% toll, that would be $200 million. That would bring Iran about $73 billion a year. And that would be enough to offset the illegal sanctions that the country is going through. That would be enough.
This is racketeering, eh? Are they taking payments in dollars? I don't know if they're taking the payments in dollars. They floated the idea of trading on the Chinese yuan, but I don't even think China wants that to happen. So I don't know if they just like kind of dropped that. But are they only regardless. the point is, people can say this is illegal all day, every day, but you know what else is illegal? Doing a decapitation strike on a fucking sovereign nation state, blowing up its energy grid, engaging in chemical warfare. So, sorry, sucks to fucking suck. You dropped it. You cannot fucking say, you cannot turn around and say, oh, why won't they abide by international law? They are dictating the terms of international law. If might is right, and this is something that I kept repeating, right? If might is right is the way of the land, if we're operating on those rules, then sometimes there will be another country out there who's crazy enough to fucking fight back, and then they rewrite the rules at their behest, at their to their benefit. This is a moment. You can't fucking complain about it. Okay? I know that for many Americans, we're so used to dominating other countries, right? That there's almost this weird entitlement, this selfish attitude where we're like, what do you mean you're fighting back against us? That's illegal. How dare you? How dare you blow up our military bases? This is something that I kept hearing from the Gulf states and America over and over again. They were like, Iran is fighting back against all of its regional neighbors. Why are they doing that? It's like, well, why the fuck do you think? You can't put American military bases and then engage in American military action against a fucking sovereign state and not expect them to retaliate. What the fuck's wrong with you? Fuck legality and fuck the rules of shipping and free trade fabricated by the pirate, looter, plundering, colonial, inhuman, parasite bastards to uphold super profit extraction for the global majority. True. This is what anti-imperialism looks like, by the way. And sometimes it's not going to be conducted by guys that are ideologically committed. Sometimes it's a mechanism of survival. This is a matter of survival for Iran. It's a matter of maintaining their dignity, maintaining their sovereignty. They are well within their rights to do this. Okay? This is what happens. This is what fucking happens when you go toe-to-toe with a country that's, backed into a corner where they have to fight their way out of it. Okay? You know what's crazy about it too? All the while all of this fucking chaos is unfolding, okay? Israel is still trying to rape southern Lebanon. America is still trying to actively starve Cuba. Like, that's how evil empire is, okay? There are real human casualties on the other side of this that we don't even consider. The Israeli forces are still dominating the lives of regular Palestinians in the West Bank. All of this must be put to an end, okay? Western imperialism must be held to account. Western imperialism must be brought to heel. It's that fucking simple. That's it. Iran is distracting from the Lebanon annexation. I think the Hezbollah, the Hezi boys are doing their best to defend their land. Again, well within their right to do so. They're a non-state actor. Obviously, they don't get a lot of positive coverage for that reason. It's easy to just say they're terrorists, they're terrifying, they're terrorists, they're bad. The reality of the matter is they are the de facto standing military of Lebanon, because the Lebanese military is not doing shit to defend their own fucking lands, as Israel is openly communicating that they will annex and even turn into Gaza, southern Lebanon in its entirety. Okay? So yeah, they have every right to defend themselves. They have every right to defend their lands. And they have every right to use ATGMs on those $30 million Merkava tanks piece by fucking piece. As the Israeli government keeps repeating, there has been a massive security incident in southern Lebanon over and over again, every single fucking night. They have the right. What the fuck are we doing? Don't fuck around. I'm going to be honest, it looks like Israel knows it lost the public opinion battle, and now they know this is their last chance to do whatever they want. This means they now do maximum evil and take as much land as they can while the Trump presidency lasts. Yeah, but that's also a fucking major misstep, is my point. Okay? That's a major mistake, as demonstrated by the retaliation. It's the same principle behind the final solution and trying to invade Moscow, right? It's a fascist state where collapse is imminent, and they're trying to do this like one last big hurrah. They're spread too thin. America is also spread too thin. And that's why you're seeing $2 trillion in R&D light on fucking fire all of a sudden. That's why you're seeing this country that we have starved for decades, this country we have dominated economically for decades, turn around and say, all right, fuck you. You carved out this path for us, and it offered us a moment of resilience. Because here's the other thing. Iran is not an anti-capitalist country, right? There were anti-capitalist elements in its popular revolution that took place, but that was fucking 47 years ago. Iran is not an anti-capitalist country. Iran is not a communist country. Iran is not a socialist country. They have, modest social democracy of sorts, certainly, but they're not ideologically communist at all. However, they are much more resilient to the financial pressures because they have had to exist for 47 years outside of the confines of the international marketplace. That is the reason why they can just as easily strike at the core of capital without experiencing the blowback themselves, or at least the blowback that they experience is marginal in comparison to the maximum damage that they are causing to international markets, because we made them that way. The conditions that we subjected Iran to have given them, have forced them into finding alternative markets, have forced them to diversify their economy. We have created their preparation. We have created their conditions for preparation as they collapse the global energy markets. We did that. And we could only get away with it for decades because no one ever fought back. Okay? Because no one with the actual capabilities of striking a serious blow at the heart of capital ever fought back. We bit off more than we could chew. Do you understand? Disarmed all their neighbors systematically over the years, and now there's no one to oppose them now. Yeah. This was, I think, what Yahya Sinwar thought would happen maybe a month or 2 months or maybe a year after October 7. Okay? That is why the operation was called the Al-Aqsa Flood, right? He thought that he would force Iran's hand to recognize that America and Israel were going to come down and successfully defang the entirety of the resistance, that Iran had spent millions of dollars, billions of dollars really, building for decades. Iran didn't do it. Iran didn't do it until they were truly backed into a corner with no other way out but to fight, in a way that is not dissimilar to the Palestinians in Gaza. That's precisely what the point was. That's precisely what I told you over and over again after October 7. I told you that if you back people into a fucking corner their whole lives, if you ritualistically humiliate them, if you dominate them, if you turn them into colonial subjects in this hermetically sealed open air prison, eventually they're going to fight their way out. You back them into a corner, you cause them to fight their way out of that corner. And that was precisely what happened on October 7. And that is, ironically, precisely what's happening right now with Operation Epstein's Fury.